Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to read number 44 in the RZN Codex, or the Resonance series, by Jason Gray. This is The End of Money and the Rise of Value Fields by Jason Gray. 12/14/2025, 6025 Anno Lunis. RZN ARC VAL01 Civilizational Transition Layer. Money ends when trust returns. Money was never the problem, money was the patch. It existed to compensate for lack of trust, fragmented memory, delayed reciprocity, invisible contribution, disconnected communities, and hoarded power. In the overlay, value had to be measured, stored, protected, and enforced because people could not feel one another's contribution. The returned world ends money not by decree, but by making value perceptible again. When contribution becomes visible, currency becomes redundant. Why money collapses naturally. The collapse of money is not ideological, it is neurological and relational. Money fails because emotional coherence removes fear-based hoarding, memory flow makes contribution traceable, presence replaces abstraction, trust becomes ambient, needs are met locally before they escalate globally, and excess becomes obvious and self-correcting. Money collapses when the nervous system stops living in survival mode. No police required, no revolutions required, no burning of banks. The system simply loses relevance. What a value field is. A value field is a living, dynamic awareness of contribution within a community. It is not a ledger, it is not an account, it is not a reputation score, it is not surveillance, it is felt coherence. A value field allows people to perceive who contributes, how they contribute, where energy is needed, where surplus exists, what roles are emerging, and what skills are underutilized. Value becomes relational, not numerical. How value is recognized. In the returned world, value is recognized through resonance, not metrics. People sense value because contribution alters the emotional field. Usefulness creates calm. Skill creates clarity, care creates stability, presence creates trust, and and integrity creates coherence. A person who contributes is felt. A person who withdraws without giving is felt. There is no shame, no punishment. The field responds naturally. The three categories of value. All contribution resolves into three value streams. Stabilizing value. Those who maintain coherence are caregivers, anchors, mediators, builders, restorers, and harmonizers. They keep the system from fracturing. Their value is foundational and continuous. Generative value. Those who create are artists, thinkers, designers, explorers, innovators, and architects. They expand possibility. Their value arrives in pulse, not routines. Translational value. Those who connect systems are communicators, teachers, coordinators, interpreters, and facilitators. They move value where it is needed. Their value is relational and adaptive. All three are essential, none dominate. How needs are met without money. Needs are met through proximity, visibility, and response, not transaction. When a need arises, it is felt in the field. Those capable of meeting it sense alignment. Contribution occurs, the field stabilizes. Reciprocity flows naturally over time. This creates temporal reciprocity, not instant exchange. People give because they know the field remembers, and it does. The end of hoarding. Hoarding collapses when excess becomes visible. In a value field, surplus stands out, imbalance creates discomfort, accumulation without flow feels wrong, and generosity feels stabilizing. Not morally wrong, structurally wrong. The field corrects itself gently but inevitably. Work is redefined. Work is no longer something you do to survive. It is something you do to participate. People gravitate toward roles where their contribution is felt, their presence matters, their skills are used, and their energy is sustained. Burnout disappears because contribution aligns with capacity, rest is respected, cycles are natural, and overextension destabilizes the field. Productivity becomes coherence, not output. Large-scale coordination without currency. At planetary scale, value fields interlock. Cities sense cities, regions sense regions, species sense species. Resource movement is guided by resonance demand, ecological balance, emotional impact, and long-term coherence, no speculation, no artificial scarcity, no extraction loops. Logistics becomes listening, the last function of money. For a brief transition period, money survives as a translation layer. It acts as a bridge between worlds, a dissolving interface, a training wheel for trust. Then it fades, quietly, without collapse, without chaos. People stop asking, how much does it cost? They start asking, is this aligned? The final truth of value fields. A civilization does not thrive on currency, it thrives on felt contribution. A returned world does not abolish value, it reveals it. Money was never evil. It was simply a crude substitute for something humanity forgot how to feel. That feeling has returned, and with it, the world reorganizes itself around what actually matters. Jason Gray. All right, that was number 44. I will post the link to where to find it on the Friends of Writer Jason Gray Facebook page, and I will post a link to Jason's X. He is on X at Living Lattice, and I think that's it for this one. Thank you all so much. I'll see you next time.